You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 130. Today, you just got me, because something went terribly wrong. So deal with it. That's what I'm going to do.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
What is going on, Men of Abundance? I am Wally Carmichael, your host and founder of the Men of Abundance podcast, the Pay It Forward community, and all things Men of Abundance. Well, today I had another amazing guest lined up for you. Had a really good conversation. I can hear the conversation, but when I try to put the conversation into the media player and do the edits and all that great stuff, the audio, I don't know what happened to it. It's just destroyed. It is not working out right, and I could get extremely frustrated. In fact, I'm, not happy about it, but I could get extremely frustrated, throw a fit like I used to, let's say 8 to 10 years ago when I had a very bad temper, and I let things like this get to me. That's just not who I am anymore, and it's quite frankly because of this abundance mindset. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And maybe for whatever reason, I was meant to just have this conversation with you today because, I don't know, maybe you're going through something today that you need to know that, hey, it happens. And, sometimes there's things that you can control. Sometimes there's things you can't control. And this is one of those things that I have a little bit of control over, and I'll eventually figure it out. But what's probably going to happen is I'm going to end up having to contact this guest, have another conversation, and see if, it can come out as well as it did the first time. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better. Could be. But those are things that, again, are really kind of out of my control. It's just the way it is at this point. So what's going on in your life right now? What's going on right now that is not going the way you originally planned it? And how are you reacting to that? What are you doing about it? Are you talking to somebody about it? Is there somebody there that is able to help you work through it? Is it an issue that you haven't brought to somebody else's attention that may be able to assist you? Now, I know some of you are all manly and shit, and you're super private about your personal affairs, and you kind of want to keep stuff to yourself because that's the way society has led you to believe that you should be, that you're supposed to be this closed off type of individual. Look, those guys are only in the movies. As much as I liked John Wayne growing up, I dug watching, the Westerns and all that kind of stuff. And many times it showed the character like John Wayne and other characters like that they're these lone, soldiers out there, these lone cowboys. In fact, the lone survivor, if you look at the lone survivor, that was a team of men. And if you look at characters like the Lone Ranger and you look at characters like John Wayne, these guys were out fighting the bad guys and being the manly man and doing all the stuff that they were doing by themselves. They may have had their little sidekick. John Wayne had his sidekick and the Lone Ranger had his sidekick. But the fact of the matter is, that crap is only true in the movies. Real men throughout history have had multiple other men and women by their side who were consultants to them, coaches, mentors, brothers, sisters, people that were there to assist them every single step of the way. Nobody in real life does anything by themselves. And when things go wrong, when things don't go exactly as planned, we all need those people around us to do something as simple as giving us some words of encouragement. Tell us to calm down. Tell us things are going to be okay. This day too will pass. Then there's those people that you have in your life that you should have in your life, like I do, that are the technical type of people. They can actually help you get to where you want to be. They can help you fix the problem, or they can point you in the right direction towards somebody who can help you or show you another way. Some of what I'm talking about right now, some of these skills, some of these mindset skills and that we talk about on Men of Abundance, a lot of this has to do with resilience, being resilient in your daily activities. The problem is many people do not have enough adversity in their life. They haven't been through enough crap in their life, and they don't know how to handle the simplest little tasks that go wrong. Now, look, I'm not trying to minimize your issues right now. Your issues are your issues, and that's important to you, and I totally get that, and I don't want to minimize that. But the fact of the matter is, some people are more resilient than others because they've been through more stuff. But resilience can be trained. And here's an issue that I have when I have conversations with other guys. For instance, I'll take myself for instance. I've been through a lot of crap as a teenager, as a young man. I've talked about some of this on the show. I've been through a lot of junk throughout my adulthood, throughout the military, in relationships with my wife and relationships with other people. I've been through a lot of stuff. And there's some stuff that I would hope that my kids would never have to go through. But here's the problem. You see, I want my boys to grow up and be strong young men and strong men. I want them to be providers to their family. I want them to be strong physically and mentally. And the only way for us to grow, for anybody to grow, is to be exposed to challenges in our life, to be exposed to adversity. You can't grow in a comfort zone. You cannot grow when everything is going perfect in your life. So the challenge in this case that I'm talking about with my boys and possibly with your own children is to expose them to those harsh adversities, to expose them to as many experiences as possible. There's many ways to do this. You can do that through sports. But one of my favorite ways to do that is to travel to different areas and different locations, even within our state, within our communities, to expose them to the way other people live and let them actually feel that. Not just say, hey, look at those people over there, but actually to go introduce them to those people and get to know them as people. Find out what their challenges are. Have those conversations with them. See what we can do to assist and to even prevent ourselves from getting into those situations. It's all a learning process. So anyway, the point of me posting this episode for you today is to share with you something that went wrong in my life, with the podcast. And really this is kind of a placeholder because I didn't want to have an empty spot here on iTunes. I wanted to have something here for you guys to download and listen to and learn from this little bit of adversity that I'm going through right now. And hopefully you can get something out of this that is going on in your life. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. Maybe there was a reason for that episode and for the audio to be screwed up. And there was a reason for me to share this message with you today, right now. And I hope it has reached the right person, that one guy that is going through the issue that needed to hear this message right now. And the message is this: shit happens, deal with it. All right, that's a little harsh. But the bottom line is this: stuff does happen and you can't always control it. Don't get so wrapped around the axle on it. Don't worry so much about it. Just back up a little bit, take a breath, see if there's another angle that you can go at it. And if anything, if you come to your wit's end and you can't figure it out yourself, then damn, go ask somebody. Put it out there. Go into one of the Facebook groups. Go into the Men of Abundance Facebook group, the Men of Abundance community, the closed community. Go in there. Ask the question. There are several guys in there who will jump on right away and say, hey, I know what you're going through. I've been through a similar situation. This is what I suggest. Or maybe they have the right questions to ask, because quite frankly, I've found the best way to help most people, and this is what I do when I'm talking with most guys, is I simply ask the right questions and let them figure out the answer, because you already have the answer. You just need somebody to ask you those right questions so that you can come up with the answer. And together, you guys can collaborate. We can all collaborate and come up with a great plan for you to move forward. And that's all we want to do. All right, I hope this has been somewhat beneficial to you. If it has, share it with somebody else, because I know it's going to be beneficial for them as well. And go out and live your life of abundance. And guys, make sure to pay it forward.